going to present for you a good example from Gotland, region Gotland, about the process to bring about transportation vehicles driven by biogas. And it has, of course, included some various multi-level governance steps in this process. And how did it all start?
It all started with the politicians deciding that the bus transportation on Gotland should be fossil fuel free. And we then started with a procurement for new public transportation, new buses on the entire island, and also a procurement to get biogas for the buses. And you can see here on the screen here the process scheme and the different steps of multi-level governance that we had to go through to be able to fulfill the job. And of course we had problems in some of the instances here. For instance, to find local companies that wanted to build biogas purification plants.
How did you inspire the local companies from the beginning?
The local companies were inspired. There's the movement on the island among, for instance, farmers, and the local biogas company or biogas association is the correct word. Were very interested in the implementation of biogas on Gotland, and this also led to a procurement where a local company actually won the competition.
So you mean
this is the sewage plant where everything started, when the region built a digester here for using the sewage from the plant here. The biogas that's been produced has been used within this unit and also sold to the local district heating company. And when we wanted to start with biogas fueled buses, the region sold part of the gas to the company who produced the fuel for the buses and the cars.
we have now moved to another part of the sewage treatment plant in Visby, region Gotland. And Bertil, what can we see here behind us, and what do you have to say about how it all started here at the treatment plant?
Behind us here we can see the first biogas plant that was actually built for using the biogas internal in the sewage treatment plant and also for district heating. And this is the plant that we used in the beginning as when we sold the raw biogas to the company who made the purification process. And this enabled us to actually get vehicle fuel from the filling station on the other side of the road here.
And I know also that you made, very early in this process, you made a calculation of how many cars and buses this gas could supply.
Yes, we made calculations and saw that there were quite a lot of cars and lorries that could be propelled by this gas plant here. And also, if we stopped using the gas internally in the sewage treatment plant, there would be even more cars and lorries that could use the gas here.
So get started as early as possible. You sold the gas to the private company who built the fuel station on the other side of the road.
Yes, that was a means to get the process starting, because the company didn't have their own plant. They had to have biogas from somewhere, and this was the obvious choice. And we sold the biogas, and they started the purification. And after that, they also started to build their own biogas plant that we will see later during the day here.
So instead of suffering from a local barrier here in the region Gotland and on the island Gotland, the region actually made this happen to be able to do this.
Yes, we made it happen because we created the demand, and we also helped the company by selling raw biogas. And we didn't sell it very cheap. We sold it at the same price that we got from the district heating.
So it's a win-win situation for all parties?
Yes, I think so.
During this process with the biogas implementation in Gotland, did you have any political problems, discussions that was actually a barrier for this project?
I can't say that we had any barriers because the political parties, both opposition and those who rule, approved the plans for biogas transportation in the city and also in the region. One of the problems that emerged during the process were actually that the implementation of vehicles were a little too slow. So suddenly we had excess fuel, and then the regional board had to take a decision to make the implementation of biogas vehicles faster, to be able to use the fuel that was actually bought by the region.
We have now reached the Biogas Gotland's facilities. What do we see on this place?
In this place we can see a purification plant. The raw gas comes from the plant in Bro, and here some of the gas is being processed for fuel for the vehicles, and mainly buses, slow fueling, and for private cars and lorries with quick, fast filling. So this is the facility.
And all this is private investment?
This is a private investment, all of it. And this happened because the procurement was made by the region that guaranteed a certain amount of biogas fuel for the buses.
And the company is originally a farming company?
Yes, it's a farming company who has ideas how to use farming residue for biogas production. So the biogas here is produced by farming residues such as carrots and manure from a pig farm.
And from this cleaning station we can move on to the fuel station where the cars can refuel the cars.
Yeah, I think we should look at one of the buses that is filling up here, and we can look at the filling station.
Yes, we can now see where the bus is refueling, and we have the equipment here for the biogas buses. What do we see here?
You can see a bus that's being slowly filled up with biogas, and the buses usually are staying here overnight and filled up with fuel. And I can say we're proud to have this unit here because we won the first island with its own produced local fuel for bus traffic.
One of the first islands
One of the
in
first,
Europe,
yes.
okay.
One of the first islands.
How many buses do we have in Visby?
We have 4 buses for the moment, but in the future there will be more buses for the public transportation all over the island.
And we will see later also that we have some other vehicles in this biogas fleet.
Yes. Here you have a local taxi car that's being refueled, quick filling with biogas. Here you have one of the waste trucks running on Gotland that's being refueled with biogas, and 60% of the waste trucks on the island now run on biogas. This is Magnus Alsten, who's the owner and local entrepreneur, who's built the plant behind us here. Can you please tell us a little about it?
Yes, this is Biogas biogas plant, and here we produce biogas for vehicle fuel and for Arla to dry milk.
Yeah, it's the local dryer in Visby, and gas is being transported in a pipe to Visby. It's 8 kilometers or something like that?
Yes, 8.3.
8.3 kilometers.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have any problems with the environmental permits during this process? Because it's both for the farmer who is investing in this, he needs a building permit and so to speak. This can create barriers for people involved in this.
We had to work with the permits for instance, the filling station, and also the permits for the gas production. And of course, we had legal obstacles on the way, but we were able to solve them through different levels of multi-level governance to be able to have the filling station up and running. And I can say that the permit to use the filling station were actually given the same day as it was opened. So of course there were a lot of work with that, because it's a new thing.
And sometimes also the municipal authorities can be seen as a barrier for local companies, because they think it takes too long time for getting the permits.
Yes, we had to have the local company who actually built the filling station had to have a building permit, for instance, and the fire department had to make some tests and also give a permit in the end. But everything was overcome.
And today, where is the farmer today? How is it proceeding for the moment?
I think the farmer is proceeding for the moment, or the company was owned by the farmers. They now have one filling station in Visby. There's going to be one more filling station in Visby, and one filling station on the north part of the island and one on the south part of the island.
Totally four.
Totally four. And the one on the north and the one on the southern part of the island will be container stations. They fill containers with gas bottles with biogas and move it out and fill it after it's used.
And this will also enable private people, private cars to refuel their cars.
This will be a lot better, because if you have a gas-propelled car today, it runs about 400 kilometers on gas. Then you have to fill it up again. And if you have 4 filling stations on the island, you can say that the entire island is okay. You have enough infrastructure for using biogas fuels all over the island. You don't have to go to the main city of Visby to fill up your car. So 4 stations is sufficient on the island.
So now, a few years after this decision, we actually have small cars in the municipality running on biogas. Yes. We have private cars on the island running on biogas. We have 4 buses, local buses, and we also have the waste transport vehicles.
Yes, and we have...
What can we say now about the ferry boats?
Yeah, and we have, you forgot one category. We also have lorries.
Yeah.
On biogas. And yesterday we got the decision from the Swedish state who's going to run the ferry traffic over the coming 10 years from 2017 to 2027. And there will be one new big ferry propelled by LNG or biogas.
So this means that if our biogas production in Gotland will increase, and we have excess of biogas, we can add that and mix this into the LNG.
Yes,
we have the equipment for it.
Yes, it's mixable. Without this market, nothing would have happened. And now we have a new renewable fuel on the island, and it's growing in popularity. And of course, we have the new ferry connections from 2017 that will be very interesting. It takes around 3 years to build a new ferry, and there's going to be one big ferry propelled by gas in the future.
This is a good example when we can see the national goals, so we can see a municipality which has a vision, and technical employees and directors in the municipality who are brave enough to really make things happen. So we are happy to present this short movie for you.